Hi, everyone. My name is Leah Tidwell, and for my demonstrative speech, I wanted to tell you guys how you can write a paper in an effective time span. So, first and foremost, we're all college students, and we all can struggle to crank out essays. And we always want to know what is a way that we can make it not as intimidating. Well, papers and essays can be easily written with the use of planning, structuring, incorporating your ideas with sources, and taking time to revise. All of that can overall help benefit and make writing easier. And the goal of this speech is to demonstrate why writing an essay can be effective with these tools. So, continuing onward, why did I choose to do this? Well, writing has somehow always been interesting and kind of easy for me in a way. It's come naturally. And I just feel a passion to want to better myself and others around me in their writing. And with lots of experience and research, I do feel qualified to share this with you all. So, overall, what's the process? Simple enough. Step one, sit down and plan your essay. Step two, begin the writing process and incorporating your sources. And step three, take that time and revise. So, let's get started on the deeper details. So, planning and structuring. This may seem like a lot, but it's honestly not that much. Overall planning just requires you to break down the different parts of your prompt and assignment. Then go ahead and mapping out everything you know on the assignment. Then, after that, you go out and research and just keep track of all your resources and write them down and source them. Then you just identify those key points from your research to help answer the question in the prompt. And then the final step is just go ahead and decide on the logical order for your points. Overall, this really helps you figure out, like, okay, what do I know and what do I need to look up to help support your main point that you're trying to come across. And then when you're making your overall structure of your paragraphs for your essay, these are just some simple ways to do it. For each paragraph, you want to start with a topic sentence that just introduces your main point. Then you explain that point you're trying to make. Then you'll provide evidence to back up that part, and then you analyze that evidence. And then at the very end, you overall summarize what all you're saying and indicate how it all links back up to your main point. So it's all just one big little circle. And University of Birmingham backed all of this up in a guide that they released in 2017. But once you do get past this stage, you can begin the writing process. First foremost, create your thesis statement. Simple enough, a thesis statement is a sentence in your essay that overall explains what this essay is going to be about. It simply is the main point of the essay, the claim you are making about that main point, and your reasons why you support that claim. It's a very simple formula that can help you create that thesis statement. But once that's created, the biggest thing I say is focus on the body paragraphs of your essay first. It helps easily get you to focus on your main points and that structure shown in the previous slide. And then, as my source here says, leave the introduction and conclusions last. They're always the hardest for students to do. But when you do go towards completing the introduction and conclusion, my personal tips for doing this is you can always begin your introduction with a common or relatable topic that can somehow interconnect with your main topic of your essay. It may seem like a lot and a reach, but it overall can help make a flow in your introduction when you start out with one thing and slowly trickle to your main topic. It just has worked for me. And you can maybe do a conclusion by bringing up a relating topic or a recent event or a subject that's been interesting and connected overall. Another thing that I personally do is if I have an extra main point that didn't fit into the overall structure of the essay, you bring that up in your conclusion. Overall conclusions are very hard as they're so repetitive, so bringing up new ideas always helps. And one of my biggest tips is have a thesaurus on hand when you're struggling with that word choice. It's a huge help so you don't sound even more repetitive. And you may think after all this, you're done. You're not. You're very not done. You do have to revise. And as my source here and I say, biggest tips are listed here. Always use spell check when writing. It always helps point out and you're kind of editing as you go. But once you are fully done with your essay, I recommend printing out the essay. Once you print it out, you review your thesis, your paragraphs, your structure. So you're overall looking at the entirety of it and seeing what can I fix, what's good. And then once you've done that, I recommend reading it aloud. So you're hearing and seeing what you can fix. As the next point says, you can manually check spelling and grammar. And as you're reading it and listening to it yourself, it's an easy way to spot these things and correct them. And if possible, Get feedback from other people, a parent, a friend, or even a professor. It always helps that way to really make the perfect essay. And in conclusion, as I said, writing essays are hard. They're very tiring, but when you follow this basic outline, it can really help overall make it easier. When you plan the components, you write and incorporate all that research you've gotten, and then you reread and revise it. It can seem like a bit of a long process, but overall, when you stick with a plan like this, it makes it so much easier and not as intimidating. And most people, when they do take these tips and they make it more effective, it works for them and they use it a lot, and a lot. But however you may write, hopefully these pieces of information can help inspire you to keep on writing and doing your best. But anyway, thank you for watching, and I hope you have a great rest of your day. And bye bye.